wonderful creators as we find ourselves on a brand new platform of creation, of finding the self, of finding out who we are, what's our purpose, what are we doing in life. Is it really benefiting, giving joy into life? What is it that I came to do on the earth anyways with the I am that I am? So that's a very important question and not that easy to answer because it requires some internal work, some internal investigation, as well we are finding ourselves in the midst of revisiting and refinding our what we found beforehand. Like many geometricians, mathematicians, people walking the world for new truths and finding that different things are popping up. So the most important thing with the I am that I am, when we load that back in the body and we find ourselves in an enlightened body that is in its new tree of life especially, and has nothing to do with the old tree that crumbled, with the old matrix, we can see that the I am presence can move into a new presence, a new vortex, a new you, all of the time when the alignments open up to what's behind of me. And so that is the Phoenix rising, opening up through the green bridge of light, as we can see on the other side here, the mount spreading the knowledge through, and reason why many are revisiting their findings, revisiting, recalculating what is a geometrical measurement, how are they upgrading in the body, how come the body is made of geometrical patterns, codes, numbers, and so forth, because it is the origin of creation. I've been talking about it in many videos to just explain a light body, a light environment, meaning we go back here into what was once predicted, into crystalline consciousness, Christ consciousness, moving synchrone with the essence that has never ever been touched, and that is Buddha consciousness, because both slide and glide in together in parallel universes. So moving the I am presence into its first authentic vortex, that is the I am presence moving in an celestial body. The old celestial body is dead and gone. So to move back home, that is still the house that is called the Great Central Sun, that is Shambhala, that is whatever you term appropriate for yourself, is actually something to re-evaluate, to start recognizing once you have installed your I am that I am, your I am presence, and have worked through the recalculation in the brain and the heart center fusing in. So a lot of work with the installment of an I am presence and being able to feel, to know, and to upgrade the vortex that is the I am that I am, moves in from the celestial body. And thus the training is so wonderful, because the I am that I am moves with the mountains, moves with geometrical patterns, moves with numbers, moves with flowers, move with trees, move with so many divine inspirited consciousness that have all massive volumes of data within it, that we all have within the I am presence, and then moving into an celestial I am presence makes up that it becomes visible. So the I am presence moving from celestial into the new celestial, that is also termed the Shambhala embodiment, offers the options to refine geometrical patterns, to refine calculations, to refine findings. And that is when your life becomes very interesting, as my teachings go really in there that is termed aligned to design. So the last or the first alignments I have been bringing through or brought through last week is like aligning to 5 geometrical patterns, opening up back into the knowledge. 5 is connected to the pentagram, so the old sigils or significations are old and gone. They don't have magic anymore, so the new magical components are opening up. And reason why I started out with a 5, a measurement connected to 5, that is connected to the square root of the I am that I am. And opening up in the celestial body, when you start to feel that and you do that study and you integrate that, that goes over a year process and another year of processing the 12 Shambhala bodies, 12 chakras, 12 pillars of light, 12 I am presence, integrative bodies that each have 12 rays connected, making up 144 embodiments that move all together synchron into the opening of the I am that I am, into the temple of light. The temple of light from the I am that I am opens up the phoenix rising. So here at the bottom we can see the hand, you know, removing densities out and pushing it out. Well, we can go up the silver stairs of success. What we do defeat is these male-female representations actually are for old sexuality. It never made sense to me. At the age of 16, I would already say, like, I find sexuality such a high-level idiotic content because it never made sense incorporating another body to have that sort of chemistry. So I had a very, very difficult time with it, still do so, but not on that level, of course, because I found that the truth of, let's say, sacred encounters comes to the breathing system, which is another calculation in the body and the brain, which makes a lot more sense, because in the very beginning of creation, or at least it has been my vision, I have seen that seed cells, or at least light particles, were compressed in one crystalline ball, and that was enhanced by the male-female breathing system, breathing the growth of what you can comprehend perhaps as an embryo. And that makes sense to me. And when it's fully grown, to the love patterns, love, living light patterns coming from the high heart to both partners, and infusing that in that particular particle that becomes a new human being, or a light being that is made out of light waves. That is where we are heading. Makes a lot more sense, because you remain in both bodies, Lady Gent, Alpha, Omega, Twin Towers, etc. Everything twined, has one vortex, and that one vortex is what we are moving into, and reason of the collapse of the earth. So that is represented in this artwork as well. The meeting point of two partners coming up here to the brain. Once the brain has connected, it opens up the higher feeling compositions, and that is here male-female heart openers that move all the way back. The synchronization, what we see here, is an elliptical orbing. It all has a sort of, let's say, a Makiva anchored. And Makiva is a new light body, because the Merkaba is dead and done since past lifetime on the earth. And so the new tree of life was created. But what we see is the deep orange elliptical orbing, bringing all the frequencies of male-female partners together, opening up into the Phoenix rising. You possibly can't see here, but I have designs, male, female, going up, and in between the heart connection, we find actually a beautiful diamond in the orange creator ray, and the pink heart that is connected to very high level sensitivity, and definitely to not anything easy and low vibrations like people would equate it on the earth actually. So it is a very deep composition, as that opens to red, orange, and the silver component of success, opening up the green bridge of light. That is the green Aquarian age we are opening up. And of course the background in the lavender way, the lavender that only opens up the cup of divinity in the gold and silver ways, has the lavender flames that finally people can tap into what is termed the violet flame. The violet flame can only tap in when you feel the vortex of the celestial plane all of the time. That is how simple that it is. So the training, a year training in the celestial body and then the Shambhala bodies, and opening that all the way up, makes you or prepares you to open up the 10 higher embodiments around the I am that I am. The I am presentation becomes a presentation of all the 22 Hebrew letters, all the languages of light. So after the Hebrew, the Chinese language, both Hebrew and Chinese have many codes that need to be embedded in the initial foundation of that particular light body that goes celestial and into Shambhala, into the eternal, universal, omnipresent self. And that is where we are at. If you want to go there, it's all available, and makes your life so much more interesting, because you wouldn't get bored at any angle of society or whatever you are doing, because all the education, you know, education was cut off on the airplane all of the time for reasons of density, for reasons of the matrix, and keeping you stagnant and imprisoned. But as we all awakening, everybody can move in to their particular vortex, opening up that celestial body, moving with Shambhala. And there is some training in self-mastery and setting up that light body. And once that is done, then you just glide and slide and glide and slide. You get codes and codes and codes, geometrical patterns and patterns and patterns. So the past two videos were all about the vortex, this one as well. So I will keep on moving into that for this year, because many people are ready to open up and to finally leave the old platforms behind. Meaning you start to feel that life has no meaning without living light in the body. Because if you don't feel vibration, you don't feel the cosmos, you don't feel the planets, except when there is a full moon or something going on. But that is so small compared to being as one with your vortex, to being as one with your purpose, to being as one with your assignment, and to continuously link in families of light, link in with many more people, to create something so interesting that you and your passion and joy all of the time. That is how it actually works. So here, the Phoenix rising, you will get or feel a little bit nauseous from truly incorporating the celestial embodiment, opening up into the nucleus of the great central sun, the nucleus of Shambhala. Because before birth, you know, most know that we choose our parents and choose that. And many times, to be honest, I was thinking, how could I choose, you know, just what I've chosen, because I ran away at the age of 14 and started living alone. That was how bad it was. Then again, I had to learn a lot, and you know, spit to many things, and at the age of 18 I would say like, hey, I don't find any books, like I'm hitting into, I don't know, 64 I think, but I feel a lot more fit than, you know, back then when I was 18, just because of light body training, living light training into light. So we need to lift that vehicle all the way up, and back then I didn't find the books. I even got bored with Alice Bailey. I even got bored with everything I found there. I found books on chakras and everything, and you know, the celestial promise, whatever that was. But I would all close them. I would never buy them because it sounded like nonsense somehow. So I did learn a few things like, hey, there's race, and hey, how many are they, and how are they connected to languages? And so I learned about languages. I learned about the alphabet and what is the origin of the alphabet, how the alphabet primer grid in Israel moved into the source of all sources grid right now anchored, you know, 6 feet under the earth. Reason why everything is collapsing and changing, and geometrical pattern changed, so that first platform of alignment to design that has a triple dodecahedron completely changes your immunity. You won't get sick anymore. When you catch a cold or whatever happens to the body, you immediately reject it, delete it, and reformat, because it also has a 6-pointed star. It has the eye in the aquamarine and the invisible and the black. And so these design putting together opens up the origin that is connected to Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is perfectly explainable. That is the origin that moves all the Hebrew letters together, that moves all the spectrums together of first creation, now back, and evolution, creating new designs, opening here in the brain, creating the wavelengths that pulses through the ocean. So my work now is with the clearing of the oceans, get the aquamarine, pearlescent, and invisible rays. And I work together right now with the sonar waves. So I have big friends with the dolphins and the whale that assist me right now in communication telepathically, how to stretch out the grid and start purifying. Doing for them, they give me back. Right? And that is how information pulses and pulses and pulses. And thus here in the back of the brain, we start to see like 360-degree circumference. So the brain needs that machinery that calculates like an automatic, you're leveling up into your new vortex, and that opens up with the phoenix rising. So the most important point here, what I'm willing to expose today, if you're interested, is to get that quick shift in. If we look here, I'll give you a close-up. That is actually an ellipse from heart to heart. An elliptical orbing that actually opens up and orbs out, is actually has 2 points of reference. And when it starts circulating, so it's like a circle but elongated, that's what an ellipse is. An eclipse, it eclipses actually old consciousness, old mentality, everything connected to the old matrix, and everything that is crumbling right now. So it is a very, very interesting feature, at least when you have installed the I Am That I Am, or if you haven't, you can even apply it, working with everything that overrides the old chakra system, because which master, which element is working with a chakra system? None. It was a creation of the matrix and will never work. So the rising back from the 12th chakra system, moving that back in the body, created back all these 12 pillars of light fusing in from the heart opening up the brain, the throat readjusts to light languages, to linguistics, to the vocal cords, to Ida Pingala, to all the grids connected to the elements, which is massive. For me, it opened up then a Celtic knot connected to a sapphire, that is an African sapphire staff or a grid I need to host with the animal kingdom, because I'm much connected to them. And I started out with the oceans, repairing there. If you want to be part of it, you can, through alignments. You can align. There's a lot of information on my blogs. Just subscribe on my newsletter or my blog and you get there. And so that Celtic knot hosted actually the white Christ component that was killed, represented by a white lion. So the white lion's gate with the black panther in circumference around it created an ellipse around that particular Celtic knot. And in the middle, like, there is a movie quote that has something like it, I think. I don't know if you recall it. Shoot me a comment here. That would be so lovely. So we have that beautiful white lion opening up black panthers, and the gold trinity, the golden trinity. So gold, black, white is the origin. Everything in between opens up, and so we can open up the eye into the invisible black aquamarine eye. The aquamarine still connected to the origin or intact Teldan river, that is the Hoa river. And so the story goes and goes, integrating that all and knowing how to do it makes life become so interesting. Because if you sit an hour in meditation and you're very active, or you activate all these components, so you perfectly directed into it, because I create videos so you can just listen, integrate, breathe it through, and change consciousness overnight. It seems to be lately on my clients, you all get a private session for free with me when you do online. So, and I see the support has been massive for people, as they all say, like, when we listen to it, it's like I don't have to do anything anymore. It just integrates and I feel it immediately. So the power of the word is what is coming through immediately. And there is, you know, I mean, you don't second guess. There's no such thing, because you feel it. And when you feel it, it's the right thing. When you don't feel it, you don't have an opening. So then I would recommend setting in the I am that I am, and then move into the celestial Shambhala bodies, because it's very, very potent. So every month you align to one of the 12 bodies. Each has 12 bodies, 12 chakras into 12 pillars, 12 months, and so on, creating the square root, opening up in the Makiva with 144 embodiments. So the I am is what I feel right now is going through a massive upgrade with the elliptical orbing. So the elliptical orbing is part of the origin of the Vedic system, or, you know, the first installment of the crystalline grid in Israel, and still intact, but has moved with the source of all sources. Can you imagine the thrill to my feet right now? So that is what you can also start feeling, because it matters. It's important that you feel your vortex and you move that up. Just with that elliptical orbing, I first got this design here with the elliptical orbing, and I'm not satisfied with it, and thus we make it more potent. And I'm working on the design, ellipsing that with the I am that I am in the invisible way. It opens up massive new content, and you may have feelings like all of a sudden you want to cry, all of a sudden you feel so light, all of a sudden you have the right ideas, you channel your information. All of a sudden goes on and on and on. And that is how fast an elliptical orb works. Because it deletes old mentality, especially when you are in a light body. The I am that I am, opening with the Master Source Stone of the origin, but also the Master Source Stone that has been repaired, been set in, if you've been setting in your light body on top of the midbrain, one pulsing one direction, and the bigger Master Source Stone around the body pulsing in another direction, creating those vortexes, and these move in with the same I am that the earth hosts, and the I am that that the celestial Shambhala universal eternal bodies host. Then you're deeply connected with all the teams. Then you might see Christ in front of you. You might see Buddha in front of you. You might see Kuan Yin in front of you. You might see Dwal Kul in front of you. You might see Moses in front of you, and co-create, start sitting at the table of the round table of new creations, and that is the new designs opening up. So here, the most fantastic thing that happened to me this week really was opening, or at least I have been with the elliptical orbing, a lot of information comes through, especially when we open up the higher bodies with the invisible, turquoise, pearlescent, and all those ways, the 10 higher Hebrew letters and languages, and you can work with them by just toning the Hebrew letters. Your consciousness changes over time. Toning the English alphabet opens up a lotus flower on top of the brain spiral, so it opens up your channel. These are small alignments. You can do at any time if you wish to do them. And it is just a matter of seeing, knowing, acknowledging, where is my vibration going into? Where is my interest? How do I move out of the old lifestyle? I see a lot of people now taking care of themselves, stopping to smoke, stopping the alcohol, having a lot of trouble with dealing with the emotions, and which is quite understandable, because if you stop all that stuff, the emotional body was created by the matrix, so we need to remove the emotional body, replace it by the higher sensical body, and that has no emotion, that only has higher mentalities. It's all in the universe, it's all high mental nodes, and you create from heart to heart, in which there's no place for density, because each dense thought will lower your vibration immediately. So it's a matter of having fun with keeping it up, and you feel that immediately, because technology moves so fast, especially here with the elliptical orbing. And that will be my next alignment. If you want to align to the elliptical orbit, how it works, how you can do it, and that is going to be fun, because it gives such an immediate release that it opens up new numbers, new mathematics, new ideas immediately, and that is what people want. But of course, we need some foundation. So here, the foundation into alchemy and mastery is still available. At least it sets you in the I am that I am, and then you can move it up and educate yourself. With it comes that everything I teach, everything that comes to videos or to alignments, spoken alignments or written onlines, it means the word is coming true, and you can make a return investment by teaching it to children, to youth, to the elderly. It's a time right now that we all are moving into unity. It's a time that we start co-creating. And also, so people here that get free private sessions now come up with questions. What do I do with this and this and this? And so we direct and redirect, and in the end we create smaller communities, maybe with 5 or 6 co-creators that come together once a month, co-create and open up new technologies for economics, politics, social life, and so forth, because the old world is collapsing, including social media. and that's a good thing. So yes, expect the best all of the time. Let me know if you receive light codes. Let me know if you would like to receive your own geometrical patterns, if you would like to receive numbers, how that works, if you want to work with a light body, make your life so interesting. So of course you will have the emblem of being an eternal healer. An eternal healer has living light. The difference between an eternal healer and Reiki has no living light, doesn't have the gold component that can immediately transcend brain issues, emotional issues, spiritual issues, name it. There's many within the many. So that's different. You have the initiation, so work with the code of the eternal healer. You move in the immortal composition, and both work on the higher degrees of living light. Once living light has been encoded, at least that is also an option I bring forward, that is making the body mutable and thus opening the cells to transcend into living light particle waves. I always say, like, the first station into transcending, transitioning in the cells into light particles. At the end, the light particle, you could see like that, extend and they become light waves, and you expand with your light waves. Actually, I've never seen a particle and a wave being separate. Doesn't make sense to me. It's like a cell moving in a particle, opening up its nucleus with your energy signature. Your energy signature is connected to your divine template and how it looks like. This is my divine template, and reason why many people are wearing this design on fashion, apparel, fitness bags and so forth, because it is so potent. Aligning to it brings through a lot of new information, brings through a lot of information about yourself, about your passion, about your purpose, and anything you may struggle about is a very beautiful design. And so I created many light codes like these, and now it's going faster and faster with me moving synchrone or parallel with my new celestial Shambhala bodies into my eternal, universal, omnipresent self, and whatever comes or pops from that. So here, this video is truly messaging that we can always, from the I Am presence into the Phoenix rising with the first 12 celestial bodies, moving further into the entire education that is the bridge of light. Green light go is the bridge, is new architecture. And that is so interesting because I had a session and, you know, information just pops up, and I said, you can go and grid that particular place where you're going, and you can do this and that. And, you know, I gave advice, and then all of a sudden what popped up in my brain is, you can move into a culmination of a block of grids. I said, damn, what's that? A block of grids. And then I was immediately given the vision, like when you're in the hood, and people say, like, yeah, you can buy that just around the block, just run around the block. You know that term, go around the block. We know that. We know that, yet we don't apply it enough. So there's many blocks creating an infrastructure. That particular infrastructure creates a community, a particular city, if you will. And within one block, or your particular block, we can place subgrids, and then we can start working with these subgrids, and all these blocks have a particular square root connected to your energy signature, if you will. So it gets more and more interesting, because if you see a phoenix rising, through your particular grid in the home, you see a bird flying, start communicating, because telepathic communication is going to go faster and faster and faster. So my passion is always communicating with the elements and the animal kingdom. That's easiest because it's my highest level attraction. So reason why I host the Celtic Knot grid with the pink sapphire grid, and that's the next information I'll be getting in, which is a lot, and I feel time has come. I can dig into it because I've known it for a longer time, like 10 years, but it's only right now that they asked me to fill it in with a pink sapphire grid connected to the body of beauty. But body of beauty opens up a new construction if you're working with the light particle, you know, the transition into light particles that become eventually light particle waves, in whatever new word we will be getting. So understanding here that setting in the I am presence, at least with a body in a foundational format, creates a new light format, a new light format. You can start working with an elliptical orbit. Ellipse is like, you know, the earth moving around the sun. That's an ellipse. So these ellipses move fast because they have sort of two molecules. So what I got here for those 2 points on the ellipse, it's not ready yet. This is a design that needs to be fine because I'm not satisfied. It's as simple as it is. And thus, let's say that we have 2 points. I got them in pearlescent, and in between we have a tunnel of black invisible light, which makes sense because pearlescent needs the invisible ray to start seeing through it. And thus the pearlescent ray is a very, very high vibration. And when that moves with the code of living light, a double L here with the vortex in the middle, and then the orange elliptical orbit, then I must say it's extremely potent. So how do you pen that in? How do you get that in the body? How do you restructure? So that's another alignment I provide for those interested, and you'll be sitting at least for 1 or 2 hours in alignment, integrating, activating, releasing. So that choice is up to you, but it's very, very, everything I bring to is very potent because it's part of my essence. The word is potent because I want it to be potent, because it's part of my passion, the power of the word. So now, you know, I wish I could meet somebody that teach me the power of Latin. So somebody in there who wants to co-create with me, just let me know, because that's gonna be my next passion. I believe beyond Hebrew, some Aramaic and the English and Chinese languages, it's time to bring back the essence or the beauty of Latin. And so thus, for me, the Alpha Omega antenna has a station someplace in the United States and has another point of reference in Europe. So in the United States we have the male-female composition, the third point making up spirit, that is through a mountain in Europe that creates a third song note. So everything is a song note. In modern day alignments, when we are in alignment and the brain calculates like an automatic, we will find modern day like pop art, like pop music, like it could be harp music, it could be violin music, it can be anything. But these songs, you can create a song composition, or let's say your favorite songs that you hear on the radio, and make a list of that. That is to make your phoenix rising. So that is in essence, that will definitely come true with the alignments of the next alignment to design, that is the elliptical orbiting and finishing off the old earth composition. So yes, it takes some work, and it's very interesting, can be no other. So here, let me know what kind of codes do you get, How did you get to my channel? If you want to learn more, subscribe to my newsletter. I'll bring out a lot of content at times. At times I'm very silent, so I'm being myself, you know. I'm not connected to like, hey, I need a particular structure. Yes, of course, but we can flow with a new structure all of the time, depending on the necessity of the day, the week, the month, the year. That's simple, right? So thank you so much for being with me. Thank you as well for assisting my channel to grow. Subscribing, liking, commenting tremendously helps and doesn't cost you anything. So if you have more questions about it, the more questions you have, the happier I will be and bring out a video about it. So thank you so much for being with me. I am Charlotte Chi, and we'll see you back next week. Thank you.